Hey, what's up, guys? It's Cameron Talks Football, and in this video, we're just going to be going over all NFL news. We have 5 subjects that we're going to be talking about, and in this video, I am joined here with Cameron.
Hello.
And so, with the first thing, everyone probably knows if they've been looking at the NFL or any Instagram talking about the NFL, they have probably seen that Julio Jones is officially going to be traded to the Tennessee Titans within the next 24 to 48 hours. The Titans are going to be getting Julio Jones and a 2023 6th-round pick, and the Falcons are going to be getting a 2022 second and a 2023 4th-round pick. How do you feel about this situation, Cameron, and like how this finally has unfolded?
Well, I feel like it's finally like good to like see that he's gotten traded somewhere. He's gotten what he wants. I was a little bit so I mean I did see because I saw that the Titans wide receiver AJ Brown's been vouching for Julio to come to their team. And then I saw reports of like Julio talking about how he wanted like a big arm wide receiver. So I thought he was going to be going to like maybe a different team besides the Titans. I'm not trying to bash on Ryan Tannehill or anything, but I think that this definitely like gives their offense a really big boost, and I think that they could be really lethal with that AJ Brown, Julio Jones combo, and Derrick Henry in the backfield. So it's gonna like bring a lot for defenses to worry about. The Titans are just gonna have to worry about their own defense as well.
Yeah, like what do you like when you first saw this, did you think that another team was going to be jumping ahead of them, or did you think it was probably going to be them all along?
Oh, I did have a. I was thinking like someone like, oh, geez, I had a couple of names on my. I was thinking of just a team with like maybe a little bit more like talent or like explosiveness at quarterback was gonna jump ahead. I can't think of any off the top of my
I
head,
I
but
was personally thinking the Colts or the Patriots could possibly jump
yeah, I
ahead.
was I was thinking the Patriots as well because that would be a really big boost for their team and something like that they've been needing on offense since the
Yeah.
departure of Edelman, Gronk, and all that.
Yeah, so looks like that division is probably going to be locked up. It looks like now it's just going to be a battle between the Colts and the Titans because we all know that the Jaguars and Texans aren't going to do anything in that division probably
Yeah,
until
most
Trevor
likely
Lawrence
not.
gets some veteran leadership. So the second thing to talk about is a couple days ago, Cam Newton hurt himself with a bone bruise injury to his right throwing hand. And what do you think that means for Mac Jones and like in that quarterback situation in New England?
I think that's gonna give him like an opportunity to really like show that like he's the guy and he's the guy that they could start and like depend on. Because like the timetable for like a bone, while the timetable for a bone bruise is only it's like a month, like 2 months, depending on like the severity. It's still gonna be like all that time that Newton's out, and Newton's kind of already like he's already like struggled a little bit last season with throwing and stuff, so it's kind of just gonna set him back while it's just gonna do the opposite for Jones, and it's gonna give him that chance to like start and show Belichick what he can do.
What if probably Cam Newton is going to start? If Cam Newton starts to play bad, what week do you think we could see Mac Jones playing? I honestly think probably around week 10 or week 11. What do you think?
I think honestly it kind of just depends on like how bad Newton's playing because I know like besides like the fans obviously not most of them were like on and off with like his performance and like he'd either do something good or do something bad. But like I think like if you really want to like if they really want to win, then you take him out like maybe as early as like week 4 or something. Like if you're really like serious, like if it's like constantly bad, like I guess it's fine if he has like a few bad plays and he's like but like relatively he's doing fine. But like if you want to win and I mean you think that like Jones has that potential, then I think you want to give him like that chance, kind of like similar to like Heineke, how he did against the Bucks. Like
Yeah.
if that happened again, I would do that in like a blink of an eye. So I
Yeah,
think it just
and
depends on Belichick.
now that whoever is probably going to be the quarterback, they're going to be surrounded by great pieces to throw to or decently good pieces to throw to, especially great tight ends with Hunter Henry and Johnny Smith. And then you could
Hmm.
probably arguably say a top five O line with who they're going to either be protecting if they even if it's Mac Jones or Julio. I don't know why I said Julio Jones or Cam Newton or Mac Jones. And then we have some a pretty decently good running back in Damian Harris. What do you think? Whoever steps in, do you think they're going to have immediate success right away, or do you think it's going to slowly build up and possibly go into the playoffs if they can make it?
I think that a lot of it is just gonna depend on like the familiarity with the offensive game plan and probably also their opponents. So I'm gonna pull up their schedule real quick. Or I know you probably know it off the top of your head, but
Yeah, the Patriots week 1 they played the
the Jet
Dolphins, and then
Dolphins. All
week
right.
2 I believe they play the Jets.
Yeah. So I think like down the so look at right on my screen. I have they're playing the Dolphins, the Jets, which are two like I mean, obviously the Dolphins were a little bit like hot last year compared to the recent seasons. But like, if you come out first game, anything can happen. If you come out strong, that's a winnable game. And same thing with the Jets. They've kind of had problems down the line with Gase and just their whole team. But then you got like the Saints, Buccaneers. Those are a couple of tough stretches. So I think honestly, it just depends on how familiar whoever is starting can get with the game plan and like how they can assimilate to the team and like
Yeah.
the new environment of their players.
Do you think if Cam Newton is playing above average, like pretty decent, do you think he's going to be playing when he plays his old team in the Panthers? Do you think they'll give him the shot to play there?
I think it would definitely be like it would be an option definitely to start him against his rival because revenge game or whatever. But I don't think there would be any reason to sit him if he didn't if he was playing above average, like because Mac Jones and whoever else is still gonna be there next year. Like you can let Jones sit back if you really want and develop. And if Cam Newton's playing at an above average level, that's what you want. And I think you would definitely give him the opportunity to play throughout the season, including the Panthers, to try and give them the best chance. And if not, then you have the rookie in Mac Jones.
And now with the third topic of today of the 5, we're going to be talking about the NFC West. Who do you think has the edge in this division? I know it's a really close division. No one really has that big edge, but who do you think has the biggest to possibly take the division?
I think like you said, there's a lot of like chances for like taking it, like as it was really pretty close last year. I think that I think with like the Rams and their addition of Matthew Stafford, I think that's really going to help out their offense and really open it up for them. Because as we know, their defense has already been pretty good with Aaron Donald, and he just is like a whole nother man you have to worry about, and it'll make it easier for the corners and the linebackers when he's generating pressure. And I think with Stafford, you'll be able to eliminate some of like the inconsistencies that Goff had last year, and I think that'll really be able to push them if he plays well. It'd be able to push them into that first place spot.
I honestly think the 49ers can possibly take this division just because of how many people they have coming back of IR and off of the COVID list for this year. If you probably looked at the long list, it was probably look like you're reading a receipt off of when you went to the grocery store because how many games they missed. It would look like at least 5 or more of them missed like 6 or more games, which is
Yeah.
not good for a team that just went to the Super Bowl and was 1 win away from winning it all, which is why I think that defense is going to be back. They're going to have Nick Bosa. They're going to have some pretty decently good corners. I think if they figure out that, like, if they get like a strong cornerback, like if Richard Sherman in his prime was there, like something like that, or like
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey type corner. I know there's not going to be one like that for a long time, but if they do get like that solid lockdown corner, I think that team could be someone to watch out for.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree with that.
All right, and anything else that you would want to say about the NFC West?
I feel like you might be able to like argue the Cardinals just with that Murray Hopkins. That was low key a team that I was hoping that Julio might have been able to go to, because I feel like that would have been just out of this world. But obviously you have to worry about cap and all that. But I think you could maybe argue the Cardinals. I mean, that offense could definitely push them through, but I'd say they're probably still like a step behind. And then same with the Seahawks. I mean, they just kind of Russell Wilson kind of started off hot, and then he kind of just decided to like he kind of dropped off a bit. He had like his his 4 games starting like MVP type performance, and then he kind of dropped off a little bit down the line. But none of these teams are like necessarily bad. It's just little stuff that they need to work on. And if they piece it together, there's a chance like anything could happen in the NFL.
Yeah, I honestly don't think the Seahawks could probably win this division just because of
Yeah,
their O
no.
line and they really haven't built on it. And you're gonna see him running around behind the line of scrimmage like Patrick Mahomes did in the Super Bowl. That's
Yeah.
honestly what I think.
Yeah,
All
no, I
right,
agree.
and then with the fourth topic, you thought of this one, the assistant coaching COVID vaccine. Do you want to take this away since you probably know more about it?
Yeah, so I saw a report a couple of days ago. I was just like on my phone. I'm like, oh shit, what's this? And it was a report that multiple assistant coaches are like about to lose like their tier 1 status due to not taking the COVID vaccine. So I was like I was like, wow, like so it kind of I was really surprised that they're enforcing it like this much. Like so it's seeming like it's not just like a preference if you want to take it. It seems like they're making it more mandatory, especially for the coaching staff. And I feel like it does have like its benefits, like as last year with the contact tracing, which like absolutely like decimated some teams. Like they had like their whole team was like out for like a week. I think it happened to the Titans before. And
Yeah, and they
they
had to
just they
postpone that.
yeah,
I think it was the Titans and Steelers game or something like that.
yeah,
They
I
had to
believe it was
postpone.
something like that. And they just couldn't practice. So I guess this is just how our world is at the moment, and I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see like how we handle the COVID vaccine or the COVID-19 disease this year or the pandemic, how we handle it in relation to last year.
I think possibly, everyone's saying that in June 15th, the mask mandate is going to be over and all that. Do you think that's still going to weigh in with the vaccine for the coaches and players by after June 15th? Do you think they're going to have to worry about that and also fans?
I feel like if they already like are like threatening them, I don't think like the change and like the structure of the rules and like the how they're going to handle it during June 15th. I don't think that's going to change because I think the NFL is trying to keep it like professional and like just secure and like zero chance of it happening. So I personally don't think that it'll change because it's a business and you don't want to be like badly representing your company because you're refusing to take the vaccine and then if you ended up getting it and spreading it to others. So I think they'll probably still require it, but if the coaches get the vaccine or not, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, and I honestly hope that that mask mandate's over so that next season people could possibly go and watch their teams in person and possibly have more packed stands.
Yeah, it's
And
something I'm looking
with the
forward to.
what were you saying?
I was saying that's just something that I'm looking forward to as well.
Yeah, because like that atmosphere for some teams is just that they need that. All right, and then with the fifth thing, we're going to be labeling this called defend that team. And with this, we're going to be spinning the wheel, and whatever team it lands on, you have 1 minute to defend against my team that I'm going to be picking, and I'm going to have 1 minute to defend that too. So, do you want me to spin for you first, or do you want me to spin for me first?
You can go first.
All right. So right now, with the team I have to defend is the Cardinals. All right. And the team that you have to defend is the Colts.
All right.
All right, you can go first on why the Colts will have a better season than the Cardinals.
All right. So I'm not like obviously 100% like knowledge on this team, but one thing that is, and I do know, is that they do have a new quarterback in Carson Wentz, some of which most people have been like very critical on in the past seasons with his Eagles for a good measure, for a good reason. But I think that the system that Carson is coming into is going to fit him like perfectly, and it's going to fit him really well. And I think he's going to be able to take their offense up a few levels which is going to give them like those couple of those chances to close out games and not like have any like game sealing interceptions. And their defense with Darius Leonard, they have DeForest Buckner. That's just like they just have a couple of key pieces on defense as well that I think will solidify their chance to win games this season and really allow them to like get up there in their division and like go for a fighting chance. Like now, obviously, a lot of it's going to depend on Wentz and like his performance because obviously last year, it wasn't it for him, and we had Hurts who came in, and that it was just a whole messy situation. So I think a lot of it is going to depend on Wentz, but he's surrounded by Hilton. You got Hines, you got Marlon Mack. That's just something that they're gonna have to worry about. Their teams have to worry about because they can really do something with the ball if you give them a chance. And
Okay.
I think Wentz will help them with that.
All right, and my defending for the Cardinals is they have a young quarterback in Kyler Murray. They have DeAndre Hopkins. They have AJ Green. They have Christian Kirk, and they have Rondell Moore. And then they also added James Conner for a power back because they already have an elusive back. I forgot what his name was right now, but they have the elusive back. They have the receivers that they need. They have a pretty decently good O line. And I feel like if they keep building on that O line, Kyler Murray is going to be protected and he doesn't have to run around that much. So I believe if they do get that good air game going, and with the decently good defense that they have with Chandler Jones and now J.J. Watt that they added a couple months ago, I think this team is going to be one to watch out for in that NFC West. And I think they're gonna get at least 10 or 11 wins, maybe even 12, but I think 11 is like that borderline win percentage right there.
Search up the Colts schedule real quick, see if I get a base off of what I think they could go for. Yeah, I think Quentin Nelson though will continue to help out that Colts offense, especially for Wentz, who had to deal with the Eagles O-line, which was just constantly changing with injuries. And so I think he'll be a little bit more fortified behind that Colts O-line.
So with this, we're just going to go over for this one, we'll just go over the Colts schedule. We won't go over the Cardinals. So we're just going to say win or loss for each one. Against the Seahawks.
Win.
Against the Rams.
Oh, shit. Loss.
Against the Titans.
Probably would have said win last season, but now with Julio Jones, I don't know if they're going to be able to deal with that, so I'll say loss.
What about the Dolphins?
I think they could win that.
How about the Ravens in week? I believe that is 5. Yeah, week 5.
Ravens. Fuck. I'll give them a loss.
All right. How about the Texans?
Win.
The 49ers?
Loss.
How about the Titans again?
I'll give them the benefit of doubt. Say they managed to win against the Titans once.
And then how about the Jets?
Win.
The Jaguars?
Win.
Bills?
Loss.
Buccaneers?
Loss.
Texans again?
Win.
Patriots?
Win.
Cardinals?
Oh shit! No, they're probably gonna lose.
And then Raiders, and then the Jaguars.
I think those are both wins as well.
All right. So it looks like they're a little above 500, I think. I honestly think that seems like it's like a 9-win season or something like that. That's what it seems like. All right. You ready for the next round?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. So this is for your team. Oh, wait, no, this is for mine. Never mind. I'm going to be defending the Browns.
Oh, jeez.
And you are going to be defending the Chargers.
Say less.
All right.
You can go first.
All right, I'll go first. All right. So, we already have that great offensive line with the Browns. Then you have Baker Mayfield. You have Kareem Hunt. You have Nick Chubb. You have Odell Beckham Jr. You have Jarvis Landry. And then you have something Seals Jones, I think. Peoples Jones, something like that. I believe that's his last name. And then you have, like I said, great running backs, all that. A pretty great offense, in my opinion. And then that defense just got a hell of a lot better, adding Clowney. I understand he hasn't had that like impact that he used to have, but if you
I
have
did.
him on one side and then Miles Garrett on the other side, I think that's going to be a pretty scary team to watch out for. And then you add that linebacker that they got in the second round,
Yep.
Jeremiah Wusu-Koramoah. He should not have fell to the second round. I know you probably think that too. He probably should have been a late first round pick.
Yeah, I agree.
And with those corners that they have, Denzel Ward, who else do they have at corner? I can't remember right now, but then they have Grant Delpit at safety, and then another great safety. So I think this team, I think this team's going to win the division. I don't even think it's going to be close. I think they're going to. I think they could sweep the division, probably go 4-2 in the division or 5-1.
For sure, for sure. So with the Chargers, you got Herbert, who is just coming off of an amazing rookie season, like probably exceeding a lot of the people, people and players like expectations in the NFL. I don't know if anyone expected him to just come out like guns blazing, but he allowed them to compete with the Chiefs in both of their games, and I think that with the addition of Corey Lindsay, they got a new center. That's just gonna. They got Slater from the draft as well. It's gonna be just another boost to their offensive line. I believe they picked up Jared Cook. And then you also have Asante Samuel Jr. It's gonna be another cornerback who they're gonna need after losing.
Casey
What was the
Hayward.
corner? Who was the corner they lost
Casey
to?
Hayward.
Yeah, something. And then you got Eckler in the backfield. You got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, all who just make like a complete offense. And then I think you also have Derwin James coming back. I believe he was injured last season for a couple
Yeah,
of
he
games.
was.
Yeah. So you have a couple of pieces that are coming back and a couple of pieces that they've added to fortify their offensive line. And so I think that offense with Herbert is just going to be something. He's just someone who keeps them in the games, and other teams are going to have to worry about that. And I think they've added good pieces on their defense as well to really solidify their chance at competing for a division title, or even like a wild card spot. I think they can personally think that they can compete with the Chiefs and even make a run,
All
because
right.
I mean they did give the Chiefs a run for their money a couple of times last year.
Okay. And while you're pulling up the what is it, the Brown schedule for me, I honestly think the Chargers defense right now is their point that they need to worry about, because they did have a lot of injuries to their defense a couple times last year. So I think that they're going to need to figure that part out first before they do anything. I think they'll have a great team, but I think they need to worry about pretty much their injuries to their team.
Yeah, I know. I think the defense is just going to be like a really selling point for their team if they can close or win out those games. So you want me to just tell you the Browns schedule or
Yeah,
what?
just tell me a game, like the team they're playing first and all that.
Looks like they only have 2 preseason games. Chiefs.
I
Week
think
1.
they are going to start off with a W right there.
All right, then you got the Texans.
That's a win.
You got the Bears,
That's a win.
the Vikings.
I think that's a loss. I think the Vikings are going to surprise some people with that new O line that they are building over there.
You got the Chargers.
The Chargers are playing the Chargers.
No. Like the Browns are playing the Chargers.
Oh yeah, I think they will win that game.
All right. The Cardinals,
I think they will lose that one.
Broncos,
Win.
Steelers,
That's a win.
Bengals,
Win.
Patriots.
I think they will lose that game just because I think the Browns they didn't really have that great of a run stopping game last year, and I think the Patriots are gonna see that and probably build on it this year.
All right, you got the Lions,
That's a win.
Ravens,
I think they're gonna lose right there.
and you got the Ravens again.
I think they will win that one.
Raiders,
Win.
Packers,
I think they will lose if Aaron Rodgers is there. If not, it's a win.
All right, Steelers.
They will lose that one.
And then I think the last game is at the Bengals.
They will win that one.
Okay, that's like I didn't count down all the wins. I can do it real quick though. Win.
So it looks like it's a 12-5.
Yeah, it's like 12 and 5, something around there, which is definitely achievable. Like a lot of these games are like winnable, if not like most of them.
Yeah. All right. So the team that you are going to be defending is the 49ers, and I'm going to be defending the Bills.
All right, 1 second.
All right, you go first.
Okay. So obviously we know the 49ers have just picked up Trey Lance, but if he starts or not, that's another question. I would honestly love to see him out there and give him a chance to compete, but I honestly don't think that he probably most likely will not end up starting right off the bat. But on that offense, you got Brandon Ayuk. Apologies if I slandered his name. But you also got Kittle. You got Trent Williams on the offensive line. You got Alex Mack. You also have Jalen Hurd. Debo Samuel as well, and Raheem Mostert in the backfield. Just a bunch of people who are pretty explosive, and I feel like Brandon Ayuk last year he really blossomed in fantasy as well as like in the actual NFL game. And I feel like if they get him the targets, like he's gonna produce as he did last year. I think he had when he had at least 7 targets, he was doing good. And then you also have Fred Warner on that. You got D Ford. I think Jason Verrett is on their team now as well from the Chargers. So that defense is really they're doing pretty good now, and I think they might have had a couple of people that were out with injury last year. I'm not sure. You also have Joey Bosa. Can't forget about him. Or not right. Joey Bosa. Nick? Is it Nick? Yeah, I think it's Nick.
All right, and I'm going to be defending the Bills, like I already said. I think they're going to play great because they added a receiver to complement with Diggs. They got Emmanuel Sanders, so they're going to have Emmanuel Sanders. I can't even think of his name. Cole Beasley, and then Stephon Diggs. So those 3 right there, and then you're going to have a pretty good running back in Devin Singletary. I don't know how good their O-line is. It's not too bad, but not too great. And then you have Josh Allen. He's an up-and-coming player. And then you got their defense that they really stepped up and made some plays last year, especially with that secondary. I think if they added a strong pass rusher. Did they add a pass rusher? I think they did, right?
I'll check.
I think it was Gregory Owasu or Jalen Phillips. I believe it was one of those two. But if they didn't, I still think that team is going to be pretty great this year.
Yeah,
so that's my thing for that. All right, so now I'm going to be pulling up the 49ers schedule for you, and you're going to give me a win by win, and then we'll end it with that. All right, so week 1 against the Lions.
Win.
And then against the Eagles.
Win.
Packers.
Yeah, I feel like they could win that one.
Seahawks.
Win.
49ers. I mean Cardinals.
I'll say that they lose that one.
The Colts.
I'll win.
Bears.
Win.
Cardinals again.
I'll say that they managed to win that one.
Rams.
I'll give them an L for that one.
Jaguars.
Win.
Vikings.
Win.
And then you got the Seahawks.
I'll give them a loss for the Seahawks.
And then you got the Bengals.
Win.
Falcons.
Win.
Titans.
Loss.
Texans.
Win.
And in the last game, the Rams.
I'll give them a win for that one.
So it looks like they easily went above 500. So you said that they lost like 3 or 4 of these games. So it looks like they went like 13-4 or 12-5, something like that.
Yeah, I think a
So
couple of the games could go either way though.
yeah.
Like a lot of it's just gonna like depend on like their quarterback situation, like the success they have with either Garoppolo or Lance. I feel like that's going to be a pretty big decider on if they are able to close out those games and get a win.
All right. And well, that is it for today. Thank you, Cameron, for joining me. And
Yep, no problem.
in the next couple days, we'll probably be doing something else just like this, either like a season prediction for a whole team or just keep doing NFL news. So until then, I will see you guys later. Peace out.